guys, and welcome back to another episode of Skins in the Game. We got JW here. How you doing, Jay?
I'm here. I'm alive and kicking.
You're
down here in Florida.
And kicking, supposedly you're alive and kicking.
By the way, I've been
cool.
told I'm not allowed to rub the weather in people's faces, so I will not do it.
Is that Yeah, that's the Floridian thing to do, right? Is just say, what is it right now? Now I'm curious.
That was like that was an end around. Well, today it got almost up to 80 degrees. So
yeah, you just found an end around way to brag about the weather with saying that you're not bragging about the weather.
It's like the famous line: "It goes without saying," and then you say it anyway. So
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right, well, we got a lot going on this week. Of course, we're going to recap the little bit of the Raiders game, Montez Sweat news, Logan Thomas news. We got some Heineke stuff. We're going to talk about Heineke a little bit, season projections, and of course, we're going to hop into the Cowboys preview. We heard about, of course, the Mike McCarthy situation, so we'll definitely dive into that, what he is guaranteeing on Sunday, and more. Of course, Dad will do his predictions based on the spread. You said you did a good job last week, huh?
I had 9 right, and I full disclosure, I have not made my picks, but we're gonna do them on the fly when we go.
There we go.
I always do them very quickly, so I have no problem doing that. But
9 of 14.
Yep, 9 of 14. The week before that, I had 11, so I'm climbing back into the ranks of the pool I'm in. So who knows?
Who knows? How many did I get right last week?
I don't know, but it seems like the less effort I put in, the better I do.
I got 11 right last week out of 14. Of course, I don't do mine based on the spread, but I did get 11 correct out of there. San Francisco, Minnesota, and Cincinnati screwed me.
Well, and the one thing that bothered me last week that in hindsight, it still has not registered to me that the Patriots record is as good as it is. And I picked Buffalo, and then afterwards I thought, who picks against Bill Belichick on a Monday night game? And then I realized they're freaking 8-4. They have a better record in Buffalo, and that has not registered with me. It hasn't.
It's a quiet one for sure.
It is.
Thanks to everybody in the chat. Asan here, a.k.a. Mike McDonuts. Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper also came out and guaranteed to win today. Wow. Everybody's guaranteed to win. Of course, DRG saying, we want Dallas. Shake the stadium. That's right. What up, Patrick West? What up, Freddie Lee? The Mob Squad. Louis T. Network in the house. What's up, man? MOBB Squad, I think he says. Stand the hell up and give my boy Tim some love. Hey, what up, Freddie Lee? Thanks for stopping on by. Roger Smith, of course, and OG. I'm not sure. Have I seen OG? I don't know. But thanks for being in the chat.
He's the original gangster. So
yeah. That's right.
Not sure if that's what it is, but that's what I'm going with. So.
Yeah, I have no clue. The good old "Let's Go, Brandon." You got to have a little bit of that everywhere you go. It's a must, pretty much. All right, cool. All right, well, we're going to start the show off, of course, with the dad joke of the week.
Just so you know, I had very slim pickings this week from the calendar I have, but this is the best one I could find, and it's not good. Just setting that up. So a toilet was stolen from the police station. The report says they have nothing to go on.
They have nothing to go on. You said somebody didn't get it? I actually got that one. First try. I understood exactly where it was going with this.
Well, I think I delivered it better than I actually a lot of times ad-lib, because the way I said it, they went, what? I'm like, nothing to go on the police report. So anyway, like I said, slim pickings, so bear with me. Thank you.
I think that's the best one yet. I'm not going to lie. We've been rough to start this dad joke of the week, but that's what happens when you do a dad joke of the week every week. It's going to be rough.
And somebody wrote a calendar of every day a dad joke, and I can't believe that they made money with some of the jokes that they post. But hey, I ain't hating. They're making money. Good for them. So
Exactly. All right, cool. Well, let's what up, Dubs? How you doing? Dubs is in the chat. Um, anyway, so yeah, let's do the what do you got? You got anything? Well, you already kind of did have the what do you got, and I kind of like to get into that too. That Monday night game was kind of wild, wasn't it? Did you watch a lot of it?
I did.
Yeah, 44 runs to 3 passes, and they win the game. Like,
Yeah, I
what
think,
is that?
but I don't think that breaks the record, but it's right up there to, and of course they blew him away on rushing. And I understand the weather there was cold and windy, and Belichick is brilliant with always go back to the Tennessee game where Tennessee was number 1 against the run. So the first 2 series he didn't run the ball. It was like Tom Brady handed the ball off every time. It's like, hey, you're really good at running? Are you really good at pass defense? I'm going to run the ball. Or I'm sorry,
they have a great secondary, but in this game, they have a good secondary. It's also a windy, cold night. They can't stop the run. So yeah, we're literally just I mean, it doesn't matter. 3rd and 14, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8, 4th and 5, I think they ran the ball once. I mean, they did not care at all. They said, we literally are running the ball. Like, you see the jokes online of the Patriots playbook, and it's just a run up the middle, like on Madden. Like that's the extent of their playbook. A run here.
What's that? The AB combo or something? I don't even know. I don't play the game. It's like shift up, left, right. So, but yeah.
What do you know about the AB combo? So no, I'm just kidding.
Right. I don't know, but I will say the other what do you got was that Antonio Gibson is in the top 5 in running backs this far in the season, and I thought
number 1 in the NFC.
Yep. So that was impressive. I don't have the stat in front of me. I think he's a couple games behind the leader, but the guy in front of him has I want to say 20% less runs than him, and has more. And I can't think. Is it Chubbs?
Nick Chubb, potentially.
I think it might be Nick Chubbs that is ahead of him with 50 less rushes than him. So apparently,
yeah, because if you look at the stat, I mean, it's great that he's number 1. Oh yeah, Dubs Gibson. He's been calling him Dubs Gibson for a minute now. But you do look at the stat, and he does have the 5th most rushing yards, number 1 in the NFC. But if you take the number 25, I think he is the 3rd worst in the top 25 of rushing in yards per carry. So he's using a lot of carries to get to that point, basically. Yeah. But I'll take it because the approach is clearly working with 4 in a row. And, he might not be the most efficient running back out there, but he's solid. And that's what's fun. And he's running hard.
And I just think that he doesn't get knocked down with the first hit. And, I know offensive line and scheme and everything has a lot to do with it, but I've always liked the fact that when you think he's going to lose yards, he gets back to the line of scrimmage or a little bit. When you think he's going to get to the line of scrimmage, he gets 3 or 4. Then when you think he's going to get 3 or 4, he gets 8 or 10. He always seems to get a little bit more than you think is there, and that's what I like about him. So that's my thoughts.
There you go. All right. Well, speaking of your thoughts, your overall thoughts on this last game. You mentioned the score if you want to give that stat. But yeah, it's 17-15 win over the Raiders. How'd you like this game?
Well, they won, so I liked it. And I have to be honest with you, I'm trying to find the name of the freaking kicker.
Brian Johnson.
Thank you.
Brian Johnson.
Find it.
Mr. Clutch.
I know. Comes in. All I know is that if Hopkins was in that position, I'd have been holding my head and going, no, we're going to lose. So maybe they found their savior. But hey, I like their heart. The defense is picking it up. I saw somebody say or read somewhere that without Sweat and Chase Young, the defense is better, so they're better without them. I don't buy that, but I just think that they're all fired up. They're playing on all cylinders, and they're just giving it 100% effort for 60 minutes, and that's what I like seeing. Is you don't feel like they're out. Heineke is stepping up. Game-winning drive, gets them in field goal range. So what's not to like? I hope they carry it through Dallas. And I know we'll get into that later, so I'm not going to talk a lot about that. But
you're good.
I just like I like the heart they're showing, and they're all
Yeah.
fired up. And I've actually seen Ron Rivera get fired up on the sidelines.
For real, I completely agree. He is on another level right now. He is pumped up ever since he came up with the every giant there's a stone. He is on another level. I mean, let's effing go after the Carolina game, I think it was, or like he's definitely showing. I think he even was getting a little bit into the refs' ear.
Oh yeah,
at one time. Yeah, it's like whoa, what the change?
He has lost the Jay Gruden approach. and this is Jay Gruden.
Oh, it's yeah, the just a stank face, but not doing anything about anything.
Yeah, just like so. I like seeing that, and like I said, just the fire across the team right now. You know, God bless them, and I hope they can. I hope it continues. But man,
yeah,
what a difference 4 weeks makes, or I guess it's 5 with a bye. But
yeah, well, speaking of hope it keeps working out. How do you like this new offensive approach? The control of the time of possession. We're running the ball just as much as anybody else in the league. I think before this past Patriots game, where they ran the ball a million times and didn't pass at all, I think we were number 1 in the last 4 weeks in run percentage compared to our pass, and it's really been interesting. We're obviously only scoring 17 points in the last 2 games. I think we got 20. We did get 27 and 29 against the Bucks and Panthers, which was good. But do you I know you mentioned it earlier of the defense is playing better. I don't know if they're necessarily playing. I mean, they're clearly playing better, but I don't know if it's so much their credit as much as the offense is giving them time to rest.
Keeping
and that's
them
what
off
I like
the field.
about it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what do you think? Do you think this is a winning approach? And do you think it could beat a team like Dallas, who has got a lot of weapons on offense that may be able to score, faster and more points than maybe some of the other teams we've played in the past few weeks?
No, I know what you're asking. I'd like to think that they're doing it because it's working, but at the point where they have to shift gears, they will. But I'm enjoying the fact that Turner has changed and I know we joked about this the last couple of weeks, so I'm not going to go into it, but just he's taking what the defense gives you and keeping them off balance and thinking, hey, maybe we can't score a whole lot, or maybe we can, but if we keep their offense off the field, they can't score as long as we're not throwing interceptions or doing something stupid. So I love it. I just keep going, and as long as it works, and if Dallas kicks it up a notch and is high flying, aerial attack, and we have to change gears, I hope they can. But I have absolutely no problem with it. Overwhelmingly winning the time of possession, and hey, it's working. So keep going.
I agree.
What are you going to do? You're going to say, no, they should be doing something different. No, they've won 4 in a row. So.
My other co-host says, they should do some other things. So that was a fun. We're not going to go in, but yeah, he wants to change the all offensive approach, and I don't know, it's weird, but anyway. So it's funny.
Wait?
Well, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, well, how he wants them to change it. How does he want them to change it? More down the field tax?
Yeah, he wants to get down. Like he wants more chunk plays, more down the field targets. And me and him actually went through the tape, at least offensively, we didn't do any defensively, but offensively, there were opportunities to take shots. I think Heineke was missing a couple things. I think the big thing that I've noticed, and we can kind of get into this with the Heineke discussion, can he be the future? And, right now, because a big thing about can you be a franchise quarterback, can you be a top 15 quarterback? And statistically speaking, he is a top 15 quarterback right now in all the major categories. I think he's even top 10 in touchdowns right now or something like that. He's not throwing an unbelievable amount of interceptions. He has top 15, number 15 in yards. He's basically in all the main categories. He is sitting there right now in the top 15 of the National Football League. So it's kind of a crazy thing. But going through the film, you can clearly see what we're lacking And that's a quarterback that cannot change the play at the line. It's a quarterback that's not fully engulfed in the offense or even has the chemistry with a guy like Terry McLaurin to see when he's one-on-one, like, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Adams is one-on-one. They don't even have to say anything. It's a look.
Yep.
Like, or a quick nod.
Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. It was just walk up to the line. They make eye contact and they know exactly what you're right. I get
exactly.
I get
and like, here's a fade. Here's a quick slant. And that's something like because a lot of people, like Chris included, and a lot of people want to, and I want it too. I want Terry McLaurin to get the ball more. Pretty much everybody in the fan base wants Terry to get the ball more. Pretty much everybody in the fan base knows he's the best player on this offense. He is a big, a phenomenal player. And we want to get them the ball more.
Great route runner, great hands. They need to find ways to find him. And again, how many times is Heineke missing him? And I think you were alluding to that, like him missing plays. But how many times?
It's not so much he's missing plays because, Terry is doubled and triple covered quite often, like a safety over the top. But he's missing opportunities with one-on-ones. Like we're doing a run play this play. It's like, I don't care if we're doing a run play anymore. If it's 3rd and 1, fine, run the run play. Or even sometimes on 3rd and 1, maybe you should check out of it. You think big Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown, they're 4th and 2 on us, and they take a deep shot to the end zone and end up scoring a touchdown, right? Those may be sometimes the best opportunities on a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 1.
Yeah, to really catch the defense off guard. You're
exactly.
Right. Yep.
And you're giving your best player a shot at this. And the opportunities are not necessarily missed because he's running wide open. They're missed because he's unable to check the line and change the play, where this scenario is exactly when I want to go to McLaurin. Now, in obvious passing downs, the defense is keying on him, and they have a safety over the top. There was the touchdown play, or the play before the touchdown to Antonio Gibson in the second half. He literally had a triple coverage on him, and then he left the one guy behind, and there was another dude. He was basically quadruple covered on the play.
Yeah.
4 guys were keying in on Terry McLaurin. So,
anyway.
In
all fairness to Heineke, I believe a year ago he was studying to get his degree.
Yeah, and that's his next step. You know what? That's his next step by the end of the year or something. That's the piece we're missing, is that ability to check and go after a guy.
And you watch, and look, I know he's the GOAT. I'm not comparing, but you just watch Tom Brady. When Tom Brady walks up to the line, he just sees, he's directing everything. He sees the defense. He knows exactly what he wants to do, and he is directing people at the line. And like I said, I'm not saying by any means I expect Heineke to be Tom Brady, but to your point, that's what we need, somebody that can look at the line and check off or dictate to the offense. I don't care what I called in the huddle.
Yeah.
Now we see the defense. This is what we're going to do, and be able to have everybody on the same page. And maybe that's not entirely Heineke. Maybe you have to have a chemistry that's built, take a little bit of time. And I know he's 28?
28, yeah.
Yeah.
But doesn't even have a full year of starts yet under his belt.
Right.
He's getting close, but he doesn't even have that yet. But yeah, and is on pace for his best season, though. But I get about taking advantage of more. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to say... honestly, the last couple of weeks has been not very good. He had a great game against Carolina where I think he had 111 yards or something like that on 8 catches. That's awesome. But I think the last 2 weeks he may have combined for 7 catches for 100 yards.
Right.
If it's not been the high flying, not that we're ever going to be high flying, but it's not been the beast mode Terry McLaurin that we all want to see.
But to your point earlier, if a defense knows that Terry McLaurin is your primary weapon, then they're keying all their top players on him. So that has something to do with it too, I think. But I agree, they got to figure out ways to get him.
That's what I'm saying is and because a lot of people want to blame Scott Turner for why didn't you call the better play? Well, I don't know what defense they're going to line up in. Which
if you noticed, I've been defending Turner the last couple weeks going, maybe it's not his offense. Maybe it's Heineke not.
Yeah.
It's like, this is how you have to think at the line. And Heineke, I think he's learning, but yes, that is definitely a learning process.
Right. And I'm going to call a play not knowing what defense they're lining up in. Like, I don't know they're going to go one-on-one with Terry this play. If I knew that, I'm calling a play to Terry. But It's 3rd and 1. I'm running the ball up the middle. You know, like I want to run, or 2nd and 1. I'm going to run the ball up the middle because I'm trying to get that yard. But it's like, but if I already knew the defense they were lining up in, and that's anyway, without going into the whole thing again, that is what I'm talking about. That lacks with Heineke and compared to guys like Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers and such, Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, 100%. Hey, we agree on something.
I know. We should end the show now.
Maybe.
Bye.
Signing off.
Signing off. Terry will have a better game this game. Cowboys will let Diggs man up on Terry and will hurt him at some point. We'll definitely talk more about that later. But yeah, that will be a mistake. That will be a mistake. I feel like McCarthy's going to eat his words. Well, that's not all he eats, right? I can say that as a fat man. Fellow fat man, I can make that joke.
I would say both of you have had your share of cheeseburgers.
I had one today. It was delicious. All right.
Not that I'm skinny, just so you know.
All right. So, getting close to talking about the good old Cowboy rivalry week. Couple of injuries before we head into that. Of course, the Montez Sweat was supposed to come back this week. We were supposed to get one of our great pass rushers, quote unquote. And as soon as he's cleared of his jaw, he now tests positive for COVID. Terrible luck. Do you know the story with Montez Sweat?
Am I allowed to do this or not?
I don't even know what that means, but okay.
That's an old school reference. I'm sure there's somebody online that knows what that means. But this is basically the bull.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for somebody. But anyway, but go ahead. What was your question?
So do you know about like the off-season problems with Montez Sweat when it comes to COVID? Do you remember this?
Refresh my memory,
okay.
Please.
So he is not vaccinated, and he refused to get the vaccination, right? But one of the funny things about it was the reason why he didn't want to get the vaccination. The reason why he didn't want to get the vaccine was because he's never gotten it before. Like he's never gotten COVID. So why would I get a vaccine? Yeah, exactly. Like he's like, as soon as I get it, then we'll worry about a vaccine. Is basically what he's saying. It's like, okay.
There's not a lot of Rhodes scholars in the NFL. Let me just say that.
Well, I don't think it takes a scholar to understand the purpose of a vaccine. Anyway, it's just a funny thing to go back. But anyway, do you think it will matter coming up this week? We were hoping to get him back, but do you think it'll matter going into this game if Montez Sweat is out? Now we've been playing the last 4 weeks without him. So does it worry you that he's not playing, or do you think it's not a big deal?
No, I'm not worried about it. We've made it along without him, and the only way I think it may be a big deal is if other injuries hit us, because I think the guys playing right now are playing at a high level, but if someone gets banged up, now where's your depth chart go? So that would be the only reason why I would be worried. But I feel like the defense has great chemistry right now, so it's not a big concern to me. But again, depth is always a problem, or a potential problem, I should say.
I feel you. Okay, sounds good. Of course, I'm sure it's like the same idea with Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas is now going to be out for the remainder of the year. The dirty hit, I don't even know if you saw this when you said you missed the second half, but
I did not see it. I read a lot about it, and I looked for the highlight, and I didn't see it. I know it was a low hit.
The worst part about it,
was it dirty or just a bang bang?
It was an unnecessary play. Like, they weren't near the ball. Like, Logan was coming over to block him, to kind of give a wham block, but he wasn't coming in hard, so it's not like he was trying to, like, absolutely destroy him. But the ball's being ran the other direction, and Yannick basically just dives at his right knee. Like, just absolutely dives directly at it. And it really sucks that Same situation. We just got him back. He scored that one-handed touchdown in the first drive, and you're like, yes, we're getting our tight end back. We have a safety blanket for Taylor Heineke, and now he's out with pretty much a low blow. But good news is he did not tear his ACL.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
So I heard conflicting reports. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. But I thought I saw the final was no ACL tear, but that he's likely still out for the season.
He is out for the season now. It's not they put him on season-ending IR, so he's now not allowed back, unfortunately. So did he just backwards bend his knee or something, or basically it kind of like hyperextended it? Yeah,
it was a whole weird situation. Better than I did. All I could think of was it's hyperextended. But thank you for.
Yeah, he hyperextended it a bit. His leg was planted and just got dove right into. But anyway. All right,
by the way, before we move on, what game were we watching? Was it Sunday night game where they called a blindside block on a guy rushing the quarterback? And I texted you and you were like, yeah, that was pretty bad. But they called a personal foul blindside block with a guy that was rushing the quarterback. Do you remember when I texted you?
Yeah.
What game was that? I can't
remember the game. I mean, it was Denver versus Kansas City. It was the Sunday night game.
Yeah, he was basically the defender is coming towards the quarterback, and the guy drops off and blocks him, and they called a blindside block. Never seen it. It was. Anyway, go ahead. I just wanted to mention that the refs are never fail to amaze me.
What are you looking at? Like, why is that a thing? Yeah, there's some definitely. There was a blindside block on one of these night games as well that it was on a punt, and the guy. It's kind of a weird call because the dude hit him square in the chest. And yet it's a blindside block, you know?
Well, wait, because he was looking the other way.
Yeah, and I'm like, I hit you square in the literally, shoulder in the middle of your chest. Like, it's not, over here at all. I couldn't be any more centered up on your body. Like, I hit you in the sternum, you know? Like, it's... Yeah. But yeah, technically speaking, he was running like this, and it's a blindside block, and you're just like... Oh, okay. But he didn't hit him in the back. I mean, he just hit him square. I don't know. I just keep your head on a swivel. I mean, all
I'm going to say is I believe that they made the rule because of that guy that's completely away from the play, not paying attention or whatever, and somebody comes in and just hammers him for no reason. That's a blindside block. But if you're in the play, and somebody's able to blindside block you, like I said, rushing the passer, or if you're in the middle of the play, then there should be no blindside block. I remember growing up. What?
I think I remember. Yeah, so he was spinning off one offensive lineman, and then another offensive lineman came in and pummeled him.
Yeah, he spun off the guy and he was going towards the quarterback, and the guy came across and nailed him.
Yes, I remember that. Yes, that was a trash call. I know exactly what you're. Yeah,
I mean, the guy. What is that block? Quarterback.
Yeah, what is he supposed to do?
I know.
Like, that is insane. I know exactly. Now, it just hit me I'm sitting there thinking, I don't remember this freaking play, but I feel like I do, but I don't. But yeah, I remember exactly. Yeah, that was.
I mean, the guy is bearing down. He spins off of one offensive block. He's bearing down on the quarterback, and the guy comes across and hits him.
Basically, spun off the tackle, and the left guard came over and cleaned him up. Pretty dang good. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and it's blindside block.
He was within 3 yards of the quarterback, I think, at that point. So it wasn't like he was out in the way. He was barreling in. He was like, "Oh, I got the quarterback."
And he hit him again square in the chest.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a blindside as far as hitting him in the back or anything. Yeah.
Right.
Terrible
but
call.
Anyway.
Terrible call. Anyway.
Bad rule, but we have a lot of those. But go ahead. Move on.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's hop into this Cowboys preview and all the Redskins Facebook groups, all of the Redskins YouTube channels. Everybody's talking about Mike McCarthy giving the quote-unquote billboard headlines, right? The more billboard material, or whatever you call that thing. Not billboard, but bulletin board. Bulletin board.
Thank you.
That's what I want to say. Bulletin board material.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, listen to what I mean, not what I say. Mike McCarthy pretty much guaranteed a win. He says, we're going to win this game. I'm confident in that in his press conference. And then somebody else said that Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper doubled down on that take, which, confidence is key, as I like to say. But do you think it's a smart move? Do you think it's worth saying it? Like, I know Joe Gibbs had a completely different mindset on this, but what do you think about these comments?
Well, first of all, I think that and $1.50 might get you a small cup of coffee somewhere. So
yeah.
I don't know if I've always been of the belief that if the Redskins or any team needs something like that to fire them up, I know coaches would take that and paste it in the locker room. I know Michael Jordan spent his career figuring out a reason to be angry with someone and would make stuff up and then would go roll 60 points against them because that's what fired him up.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's it depends. I mean, it depends on how they are in the Redskins locker room and who would take that and raise the level of their game. So I don't know if it means anything. I would err on the side of not doing it just because, guaranteeing anything in the NFL is a dangerous thing, but I don't know that it's going to have an effect one way or the other on the game. What do you think? Do you think it's like there's somebody in the Redskins locker room that's now going to be like tearing Dak Prescott up and we're going to steamroll him because McCarthy said that, or anybody else?
Well, it's one of those things where it's pretty unnecessary. Like, you get a whole media swarm now, right? Like, it's all like now, like everybody's biting into it, of course, us included. It's only going to be a positive for your opponent, right? Like,
Right.
there's no like, oh, me saying I'm going to beat you is not anything to intimidate your opponent. It's not going to
or to fire up. Is it firing up your team?
Yeah, it's not firing up your team either. Like all you're doing is putting more pressure on them, and maybe it works out, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Like, hey, if it works out, it's like I told you we were gonna win.
You're right.
I knew we were gonna win, and you look like kind of like a Bamf, right? You're a cool dude right there in the locker room. Like, hey, I knew we were gonna win this game, and then on the other hand, when you lose, now you look like a fool. Like, why did I guarantee the win?
Because now at your press conference, they're going to be asking you, so you guaranteed the win. What happened?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I agree with you. It does nothing to help your team. I would prefer if I was a coach or any players on the team to say, hey, they're playing really good football right now. We have to be at the top of our game to beat them. And that would be the message.
Confidence. A humble confidence. Like, you're not scared. Just like Jack Del Rio, I said something earlier. It's like, we respect other players, but we don't fear other players. Like Justin Herbert coming in, I respect what he did his rookie year. Jack Del Rio, I think these are pretty much direct quotes, not literally, but basically what he said. He's like, I respect what Justin Herbert did. Yeah. But I don't fear him. Right. I don't fear anybody in the NFL. Right. Yeah. And so it's definitely that kind of a mindset, but just could have been said better. And it clearly got Washington and Dallas fans all fired up. If there's any one good thing about it, it's definitely almost like single-handedly like revamped this rivalry. Like, because we've both been pretty bad for quite some time. I know the Cowboys had like a 13-3 year a couple of years ago with Zeke and Dak's rookie season. But outside of that, we've all been pretty much mediocre teams. We haven't done anything since the 90s. Like
when's the last time the Redskins and Dallas have had a meaningful game in December?
Didn't we beat them a couple? Yeah, I think it was the year we went to the playoffs in like 2015, maybe, or 2016, whatever year. I think didn't we beat them in a big game with Kirk Cousins? That sent us like I don't know. No, we beat the Eagles.
I thought I remembered Chris Cooley saying when they won in Dallas Stadium and he was walking out and all of Dallas fans were sitting there going, "What happened?" And you might be right. There might be a game of some significance, but this is a huge game in the NFC. And yes, Dallas will remain in regardless of what happens, Dallas is going to continue to be first place. But when's the last time? This is the other thing. When's the last time we've had 5 division games in a row to end a season?
I don't think that's ever happened. I mean, it's insane.
I can't remember.
It's so weird. But anyway, just to go with the point, though, I think it's really helped get the fan bases kind of going at it again. I know Rambling with Rio, you may not know who that is, but he's a YouTuber. He posted a thing talking about the Mike McCarthy thing, and it got Rio all riled up. And I don't know what's the most comments I've had on a video, but he had maybe like 2,500 views, which is pretty good, but it was like 300 comments, which is insane. Like over 10% of your views turn into comments. And it's like, you read through them and it's like, Cowboy fan, Cowboy fan, Cowboy fan, Cowboy fan. Oh, you're gonna regret what you're saying here, because Rio's of course getting all hyped up, and
right.
it's made it interesting, if anything. So I guess there's a positive, but I don't think it's a positive for your team. It's just more of a positive for the whole rivalry in general, and get fans all riled up. Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be interesting, and we'll see what the stadium looks like. We've had a horrible fan attendance rate this year, but maybe this is maybe the game. We're on 4 in a row. Cowboy rivalry week. Basically, we control our own destiny, big time. Like, they're the 8-4 team. We can knock them off, or knock them down a peg anyway. And maybe this is going to bring out a lot of the fan base, but we'll see. I like this Barry Brown. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say maybe most of the season ticket holders moved to Florida.
Yeah, maybe. At least one did. I know of one.
Right.
But
and by the way, one other thing I want to say is Ryan, don't worry about it. They got Cousins behind center, and I think he's going to blow it.
Yeah, that's funny.
But go ahead.
But yeah, Barry Brown looks like a Cowboys fan in the house. What's up, Barry? There's a reason why Dak is 7-1 against the football team / Redskins. Y'all still hyped from last season without Dak. You're in for a rude awakening. But hey, fake news. He has never beaten the football team. Never has he beat the Washington football team, okay? He's beaten the Redskins, but he has never beaten the Washington football team. And you guys are going to be in a rude awakening. No, I can't even say that with a straight face. It's going to be funny. No, it's going to be a good game, I think, and that's going to be the fun part.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it because it means something. I love meaningful games in December. One other thing before we move on.
Well, I was going to say, if you wanted to go through your stats and stuff too, or did you have stuff that you wanted to go through with as far as previewing this game?
Yeah, we can look at that, but I just want to say that Dallas is not a very good December team.
True.
That's all I'm going to say.
True.
I know they won nights. So anyway, there's not a whole lot. Points per game. They've got almost 30, and we have 20. Trying to see if there's anything else here that there's something else here that
Yeah, somebody else said in the thing of the Cowboys are going to score 30, and I am all in on that bet. I'm all in on that one. They will not score 30 points, and I would bet the house they're not going to score 30 points against us, and I don't think we're going to score 30 points either. But they will not. They will be held to under 30.
Well, and look at the Raiders game. The Cowboys allowed them to score 30 points.
Mm-hmm.
They scraped out 15 against us. Mm-hmm. So, whatever you attribute it to, whether or not the defense is playing better or their offense is just keeping the defense off the field, teams score less against I was going to say the Redskins, but I didn't want you to call it fake news. The WFT, teams score less. And whatever you, like I said, whatever you attribute it to, I'm trying to see what. This is not as easy to line up, but hold on. I got it. Hold on. So rushing touchdowns, 8-11. Passing touchdowns, they got us substantially 18-25. But still, at this point in the season, what are we, week 13? That's not exactly barn burner. There's nothing to really...
One thing I'm seeing is an interesting stat for the Cowboys they're only allowing 31.76% on third down to their opponents. And we are averaging nearly 41, which is actually, and then if you take our last 4 weeks, we've been phenomenal on third downs. We're well over, I think we're like right at 50% or something, like well over our average. So that's going to be a big decision or a big factor in this game. Do we allow the Cowboys that have been done well on third down to continue to do well, or do we continue to play well on third down? That could be a huge deciding factor of who wins that battle, with both teams being good in their respective category.
Yeah, right now for the season, we are 40.3% success to 50% for the opponents, and Dallas is 40.1 and 31.76. So comparable in our success. Obviously, they're a lot better. And,
yeah.
Yep. So
complete opposite on
well,
that.
The sad part is, to your point, 50% is actually a vast improvement over what WFT used to be. So.
We were like 63% at one point this year, like week 4 or 5, to like significant amount of games we were just giving up an ungodly amount of third down conversions. So I hope that continues to fall, because that's another one. Like we've been really good the last 3 games to get off the field on third down, really, really good. And I put that in my keys to victory with Chris yesterday of, hey, get off the field on third down on defense, and then continue to just beat them down and have that long coverage, or not coverage, long drives is what I meant to say, and just win the time of possession. Outlaw King says, hey, Tim, I think you're pouring gasoline on a campfire. Please don't make it poster board material. Yeah, no. The fortunate and unfortunate thing for me is people aren't listening to me like they are to the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe one day they'll listen to me just as much, but not today. What's up?
Here's one thing that I thought was interesting, that the Redskins, or WFT, is sacks versus yards lost. They have 25 sacks for 168 yards lost, and their opponents have 24 sacks for 129. I didn't think Heineke got sacked that much, but maybe I'm wrong.
Where's that one at?
It's a sacks/yards lost. So the Redskins have 25 sacks for a total loss of 168. Their opponents have 24 sacks for a loss of 129. Hold on, let me pull up Dallas's. They have 21 sacks for total loss of 126, and their opponents have 26 sacks for a loss of 191. I didn't think that Heineke got sacked that much. I thought that was
24 times in, 12 games?
It's like two sacks a game. Maybe that's not that bad.
That's probably about right. Yeah, that's probably about right. I would imagine that's probably about right. I don't think that's crazy. And they're, basically right with us. So neither team allowing a ton of sacks, but both teams have a pretty good offensive line. Like I was listening to BC, Big Country, who's a Cowboys fan, and they were saying his offensive line isn't as good as it once was, but they still have a solid offensive line. And our offensive line has played well with no matter who we're putting out there. What up, Hassan? Roger says, cover 3, first and second down, man-to-man, single high, post safety. QB can rush approach to keep him in the pocket. He can't beat us from the pocket. He is erratic at times and too inaccurate. Okay. I am so scared of zone with our team. Our zone seems to be just absolutely abysmal. Barry Brown again says the Cowboys won 6 straight at half strength. Gregory, Parsons, Lawrence, Diggs, possibly Gallimore, all back. Yeah, well, we'll see. You guys.
All right.
Go ahead.
One other stat that I think is interesting is rushing yards per game. The Redskins. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to keep calling them the Redskins because I just do that.
I was only correcting the guy as a joke.
I know. Yeah. And you got me caught up in it. Screw it. I'm done. Rushing yards per game, the Redskins average 124.4 yards per game. They allow their opponents 91.3. Dallas has 129 yards per game, allows their opponents 111. So that's something that Redskins tend to play well against the run.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely one of our strengths for sure. And one of my big keys to victory was definitely stop the run early for Dallas. Because Dallas is a team with 77 chip 44. The Diesel's
50
back.
gut.
Yeah.
50 gut. That's
There
the one.
But no, the thing with Dallas is they will go away from the run if it's not working. And they will turn into a team that will only run the ball 17 times in a game and pass it 45 in a close game. Like in a game that is neck and neck. And I personally love that, right? Like I think it's ridiculous that they have guys like Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, and they refuse to run the ball with them. And a decent offensive line, whether you think it's as good as it was in the past or not, their offensive line is solid. Like, I am shocked that they do not run the football more than they do. And I think it's a big problem for them. I think if they ran the ball more, they would actually be winning even more games than 8-4. But forcing a throw.
Agreed with you.
Yeah, I don't even know what I said, but it's definitely correct.
No, you said you were talking about the running. I think he was commenting that they'll go away from the run if it's not working early. I think that's what he was replying to.
But a close game or a blowout. Yeah, it's one of those two usually.
Oh, that was very sentient.
Next, you're gonna tell me whoever scores the most points wins.
Hey, I know the score of the game before it started.
Yeah,
0-0. It's either going to be a close game or a blowout. All right, I think I need to put that on a T-shirt. Just that was good.
I know the score of the 0-0. Or what? What's the T-shirt say?
Oh, no, it's either going to be a close game or a blowout.
Oh, yeah, it's either going to be a close game or a blowout. Yeah, that's funny. All right.
You got some very sports-savvy fans on your channel here, Tim.
Dude,
I'm impressed.
The Frank Caliendos out there, right? Like, they're just memes. The John Maddens of the world. No,
1, 2, 3, Favre. Go ahead, move along.
I think both teams will score at some point in the game, yeah. What made the difference in the Thanksgiving game last year? The difference was Mike McCarthy's a ding dong and ran a double reverse on a fake punt to try to throw it downfield and ended up getting sacked, and then we ended up just running away with it. It was only like if I remember right, it was only a 20-16 game going into the fourth quarter, and we scored 3 unanswered touchdowns to make it 41-16. Like, it was a close game until he made that boneheaded decision and it ended up costing him big time.
Well, and again, if it had worked, he'd have been brilliant.
Same thing with this stupid comment. Yeah, he's a ding-dong. All right. Any last things before we go into our score prediction?
Nope. I'm good.
All right, what do you got? Washington or Dallas?
Well, I'm going to pick Washington. I always do. I'm a homer. I can't help it. I say 23-17.
23-17 Washington.
Yep. It's not going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be...
Before the season, I said we were going to split with Dallas, and I said they were going to win the game at our house because that just seems to be how we like to roll. We'll win the game at their house. So I have it Cowboys 27, Washington 23. I think we do hold them under that 30-point marker, but I don't think we're holding them under 20. So I think it'll be somewhere in the 27-23. And, as usual, I hope you're right. And I'm wrong.
No, I can just tell you that, Tim, you're wrong.
Yeah.
No, we'll talk next Monday, and then we'll know. But
yeah, for sure.
Hey,
okay.
Your prediction is as good as any other one. So,
couple of things before we get to your weekly predictions based on the spread. I want to know your season projection for the remainder of the season, we have 5 games left, all division games. We got the Cowboys, the Eagles. I didn't repeat myself. And the Giants, to finish the season in that order, we're sitting at 6-6 right now, currently in the 6th seed of the playoffs. So we're not even in the 7th seed anymore. We are in the 6th seed of the playoffs on a 4-game win streak. How do you see Washington finishing out the remainder of the year?
As much as I'd like to see them do it, I don't see them sweeping. Mm-hmm. So, but I think 4-1. I think they're going to beat Dallas. They're going to beat Philly. They're going to beat the Giants again. And then that one last between Philly and the Cowboys is the one up in the air. But I think they're going to lose one game going out the rest of the way, and they're going to finish 10-7. And it may be good enough to get a wild card, but at this point, I'm not sure.
Oh, I say we go 3-2, and it's guaranteed a wild card. I think 9-8 gets in handedly. Yeah, I don't think it's a question. Because the NFC is so top-heavy that it's actually going to be pretty easy. An 8-9 team might get into the wild card, which is pretty interesting. You know, this will be the first time that a wild card team is not does not have a 500 record or better. Obviously, it makes it easier because now we have a season length that you can't get 500 anymore. So you'll either be like, I think if the Bears made the playoffs last year, they would have been 8-9 instead of 8-8 like they finished. But if there was one more game, I think they would have lost it because I don't think they were a very good team.
Right.
So
you think we split with the Cowboys and the Eagles, or you think the Giants beat us?
I'm going to say the Giants are not going to beat us. And I think we will split with the Cowboys, and I think we'll split with the Eagles.
Okay.
And Tim is being a Debbie Downer. Where in your right, Tim, as usual.
You know what? I like when he's like that because then I love telling him when he's wrong.
Yeah, I say we go 3-2, and we're sitting at 9-8. We definitely get in the playoffs with a 9-8 record. But as I was saying, the NFC is so top heavy. We got the Cardinals sitting at 10-2. You got the Packers sitting at 9-3. You got the Bucks sitting at 9-3, and you got the Rams, I think, sitting at like 9-3 or something like that, or 8-4, one of the two. So you got a bunch of top heavy teams, and then you have a bunch of teams sitting at like 6-6, 6-7. But go ahead.
So you're saying Dallas is going to get to 10 wins?
I do believe Dallas will win 2 more. I think they could easily. They should easily go 2. They should easily win 2 out of their last 5.
Okay.
And I think they'll win at least 3 out of their last 5, to be honest, because I think they'll lose to the Cardinals. I think they'll lose to us. But outside of that, I think they have like the Giants, the Eagles. Yeah, it's the Giants, the Eagles, Cardinals, and us twice. So I think they'll split with us.
Yeah.
Beat the Giants and Eagles, and then lose to the Cardinals.
Which Eagles team is going to show up? They either score 40 points or they get blown out, right?
Yeah, exactly. You have no clue what Eagles team. And that's kind of why I'm right now projecting a split with the Eagles, because the Eagles are a really weird team. I completely agree. You don't know what you're going to get game in and game out with a team like the Eagles. So the power rankings, somebody had told me this, and I'm going to look it up again real quick just to get an idea, make sure that this is correct. We'll do the ESPN power rankings. And currently, Washington is sitting at number 16 on the power ranking.
Washington.
We are steadily moving up. We were previously last week 22. They were severely sleeping on us with a 3-game win streak. And now we win again, of course, last week against the Raiders. And now we're moving up to the 16th spot from 22. What do you think? Is that a good spot for us? Do you think we should even be higher? Like right now they have teams like San Francisco ahead of us. They have Pittsburgh ahead of us, even though San Francisco lost to Seattle and we beat Seattle in back-to-back weeks. Yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting.
I think the power rankings are so subjective. And I mean, I get it, from week to week. But yeah, to your point, we beat a team that another team lost to, but they're still have a higher power ranking. I can't help but think there's some bias with some bias of whoever's doing it. And I don't know what that bias is, but it just seems like the people that are doing the power rankings have a bias, and that affects how far down. There's an old saying: you go up like a rocket, and you go down like a balloon. That was a team, and I think it can go either way. You can go up like a lead weight. You can go down or you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So something good happens to one team 1 week, and they jump up this far. Another thing bad happens to that team the next week, and they only drop down a little. So I think it has a lot of bias in it. So I don't put a lot of weight in power rankings. I'm fine with the Redskins being middle of the pack or mid to upper of the pack. The way they're playing the last 4 games, I mean, they're winning. So how can you argue they're keeping teams to less points than their average? So again, how can you argue with that? But I think it's somewhat biased, so I don't put a lot of weight into it. But I'm fine with them being middle of the pack.
What about Cowboys at number 7?
Again, I'm guessing the guy that did this lives in Dallas.
Well, Cowboys, I mean, they have a better record than most. I'm surprised they have the Rams all the way down at 9. I would have put the Rams above Cowboys, personally.
Sorry, what's the Rams' record right now, though? I thought they've been kind of
8-4.
Okay, see, again, it just depends. How do you? What is the criteria? Points per game, points allowed, offensive yards gained. There's so many things that can go into it, and then you add into it the fact that someone has a personal opinion about a team. Because I've watched power rankings in years past, and it seems like the same 5. It's like there's 5 teams or 5 to 10 teams that are always in the top 10, and you're looking like, but they're playing like crap right now. Yeah. Why are they still in the top 10? And it's like, well, because they belong.
I love the Bills. I love the Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills right now sitting at number 8.
Well, and let me ask you this. Do you think Kansas City ever went out of the top 10 in the power rankings, even though in the first 7 or 8 games of the season were they 3-4? They were under 500. Do you think at any point they were ever out of the top 10 in power rankings?
I don't think I would have put them outside my top 10, to be honest.
Because
I don't think even at 3-3, I don't think I would have. But to be fair, their defense was hot garbage, for sure.
But again,
they were really bad.
If the Redskins are 3-4, they're in the bottom. They're lucky to be 25 out of 30. Kansas City. Yeah. So it has something to do with the track record and what you did and what you're expected to do, and they're going to rebound. So, like I said, it's just very subjective. So, wait, what was that? Should
we trade Daron Payne? Jarris thinks that we should trade Daron Payne, and yeah, it's no.
Yeah, you know what?
Any news on the new name?
We'll trade him for 3 first-round draft picks and a $25 million payoff. I'd go with that. If there's a team ready.
Yeah, no, I'm not trading him. I like him, but anyway, it's a whole debacle. But anyway, So any news on the new name? Apparently, there was some rumors that Commanders might be the new name. Apparently, there's some company that's making a bunch of Washington Commanders stuff, and it might be some interesting rumors in that category. I don't know. Tim or your dad, what is your view on the linebacker situation? How do you like our linebackers?
They need to make more tackles.
You know what? Yeah, I think our linebackers situation's so bad. I would love to get Zach Cunningham, but our linebackers, even Cole Holcomb's not playing well. They don't know how to play coverage zone. It's disgusting. Jamin Davis right now has lead feet. He runs a 4.4, but I swear some plays it looks like I can run faster than him. It's like, good night. You're just getting blown by these running backs or whatever. It's I
can call Ron Rivera and let him know you're available.
Oh, I'll get out there real quick. Don't worry. I mean, I can't play more than 2 plays. I'll Albert Haynesworth it,
Lay it on the ground.
Oh, I didn't mean it. Just go out there trying to go head to head.
Where's the oxygen?
Yeah. Send me out there. Every stadium's Denver to Tim. Every stadium's Denver to Tim. Yeah, no, that's funny. Last thing before we get into your predictions, unless you guys have other questions, it's fun to answer your guys' questions. Do you think we should sign Zach Cunningham? I mean, I think we should have all. I mean, we need veteran linebackers right now at so many levels. I mean, I will take anybody, basically
what do they
anybody
got
over
to
what we
lose?
got. Yeah, it's so bad. Like, and I think he's
I
a
assume you're
cheap
not.
deal.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I assume you're not talking about giving up anything to do this. So
No,
yeah,
he just got cut by the Texans. He led the league in tackles last year. Like, the guy is not a bad, but he's more, again, he's better in the run game. What is that?
What?
Do you hear that?
I have no background noise. It's
Sorry,
all you.
okay, cool. Sorry, it was in my ear all of a sudden. ESPN
Maybe
likes to just play random videos.
Maybe your wife is calling you and telling you haven't done something you're supposed to.
Oh, is that noise? Is that noise? All I hear is wah, wah,
Oh,
wah,
Tim!
Wah, 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 wah. No, if we send Tim out there, we'll be undefeated for the rest of the season. Yeah, Tim, they may mistake you for Brandon Sheriff. Yeah, I'll get right out. Yeah, me being 5'9.5" on a good day, him being 6'5", we're the same. We're probably about the same weight though. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not as big.
Tim, the position for Tim would be left out.
Yeah, right bench. I prefer right bench. And I would sit there too. I'll sit on that bench. I'll warm that bench. Don't you worry. Yeah. It's like, no. All right. Last thing before we get into your predictions is when I was looking up the Mike McCarthy quote, I thought this was hilarious. ESPN asked the First Take with Stephen A. Smith asked this question.
Oh, this should be
What is more likely? What is more likely? A Cowboys Super Bowl or a Cowboys early exit?
Oh. Can we look at their track record?
Oh, the hilarity of that. The fact that that's even a question they honestly threw up on the screen. What's more likely, Cowboys Super Bowl or the Cowboys not making the playoffs? And let me tell you, the more likely is the Cowboys at 8-4 currently, with like a 2.5 game lead over everybody else. They're still more likely to completely miss the playoffs than they are to make the Super Bowl. And that's just the cold hard facts. Mike McCarthy sucks. They are
hilarious. He's hilarious.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Scam
see,
likely.
she's calling you now because you didn't hear her holler.
Scam likely. Maybe that's my wife. That's what I named my wife in my phone. Scam likely. Yeah.
All right, I believe she's going to have to. She wants to have a word with you.
Yeah, that's hilarious. If we send Tim out there, we'll be undefeated. No, sorry, I already read that one. Excuse me. I think he's been claimed by the Titans. Oh, is that true? Dang it. We should have made a claim on that.
What are they waiting for though? It's like, why have they've done nothing as far as
the linebacker group?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we did sign a Milo Eifler. He's a rookie from Illinois, and he's got good athleticism. He's 6'2", 230 pounds, can run a 4.5 40-yard dash. He's looks strong. I don't know exactly what he benched and whatnot, but the guy's built like a linebacker, like you would say. And he's a hard-hitting linebacker from Illinois. You watch the highlights. It's big hit after big hit after big hit. Not afraid to kind of sacrifice his body.
So my question would be, why is he available at this point?
Yeah, that's a fair.
He
was on a practice squad. He was on Miami's practice squad. So he was not just out there in the grocery store.
So they picked him up off their practice squad?
Exactly. And they signed him to the 53-man roster. And he should definitely be an interesting guy on special teams at the very least. Because as I said, he's got great athleticism. So you put him out there on kickoff or out there on punt team, that he should be able to make some tackles potentially in the special teams unit. I don't think he's going to make an impact on the starting defense by any means. But who knows? We do have some injuries at linebacker right now. Jamin Davis is in the concussion protocol, so we'll see how that goes. But I've lost my train of thought. I thought I was going to say something very insightful.
Well, that would be one in a row.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, about Milo Eifler. Yeah. My problem with this defense, though, is, or especially in the linebacker group, we don't lack athleticism. We lack understanding of what the defense is supposed to be doing. Jamin Davis is an athletic freak. Cole Holcomb is a phenomenal athlete. He ran a 4.45 40-yard dash. He's also 6'3" or 6'2" or something like that. 235, 240 pounds. So these guys are definitely already extremely athletic, strong, and everything like that, but they're not producing. And I feel like it's a lack of coaching, which is insane.
That's what I was going to, yeah.
To think that Ron Rivera, a former linebacker, and also a great head coach, or a solid head coach, I should say, and then Jack Del Rio, who's had multiple number 2 ranked defenses throughout his coaching career, and also played linebacker, seem to be incapable of teaching these phenomenal athletes.
Yeah, but I think it's
how
instinctual.
To play linebacker.
I think it's instinctual that you can't. Yeah. It's not like, hey, if A happens, do this. If B happens, do this. You have to feel, and maybe they can eventually convey. Yeah.
But as a coach, you should be able to simplify it for these athletes. Like, and there's some players you couldn't simplify. Like they have to be real instinctual. Hard to say that word. Sorry, but they have to be really that way. And like you can think about, like, remember the Will Compton, the number 51. Remember we were at the games and you were like, look at number 51. Like that's not a guy that's a great athlete. Like he's got to be very intelligent on the field to make plays, because he's not somebody that's going to just wow you with how athletic he is. But compare that to a guy like Jamin Davis. If you just give him simple defensive commands or whatever you want to say, I feel like as long as he's playing fast, then you should be able to coach something out of him. Like you should be able to get something out of a guy that athletic. But we can't do anything.
But in linebacker, mostly a read of trying to sniff out when there's going to be a run, when there's going to be a play action. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think there's a lot of feel to a linebacker, and
I'm not gonna say there's no feel, absolutely, and you're definitely.
Yeah. I mean, a quarterback is not a lot of feel. It's the guy in front of you, cover him wherever he goes, stay with him.
Yeah,
and maybe you learn his double moves. So maybe saying no feel is not fair, but I think linebacker, you're in the center of things, and you have to be able to sense things and read things, and coaches can tell you what to look for or when to do what you're going to do, but it's not like I said, cornerback, stay on the guy. It's not, safety is more of a feel thing. Safety's got to know whether or not to move left or right or watch the quarterback's eyes. Linemen, it's not a lot of feel with linemen. It is crush the guy in front of you, collapse the pocket, and either stop the run or get to the quarterback. But I think safety and linebacker are a feel thing, and maybe that comes with experience more so than a coach just being able to say, hey, Tim, when this happens, or like I said, a cornerback, hey, when a guy runs deep and he blows by you, got burnt. Don't let that happen.
You know. Skin them alive. Skin them alive. Okay, that couldn't. You're supposed to capitalize all the letters that start each word so that I.
Yeah, you gotta help Tim as much as possible.
A mentally challenged American. No, I like what he said though right here. Ron's riding with the players he has, not likely to add anybody. That's true. That's just a fact. Like the statement he made after, I believe, the Carolina win, or maybe it was the Seahawk win, one or the other. He literally went in the locker room and said, "Everything we need is in this room." Right?
Yep.
Like and that's a direct statement to his team that I'm not looking to replace you. I mean, if I have to add pieces because somebody gets hurt, I have to add pieces because somebody gets hurt. But I'm not looking to free agency to replace a player that we have currently. Like
which is a great message to send to the people in your locker room. Like
yeah, exactly. So that is kind of, and he's a loyal guy, and that's another thing that Expert JK asked. Do you think Jack Del Rio will be let go after the season? Absolutely not. First of all, we're winning now. He's going to get credit for the defense playing better. He's going to get credit for a 4-game win streak just as much as Scott Turner is. And Ron Rivera is a very honorable, very loyal person, hence why he refuses to cut guys like freaking John Bostic, right? Or he refuses to move Landon to linebacker until week 6, where it's just dead obvious on the film that you cannot play deep safety consistently. So it's like, hey, he trusts his players, he trusts his coaches, he gives them free reign in a lot of ways to make decisions. He'll step in if he feels he has to, but it's not a step in and say, I think you're an idiot and I don't think you're a good coach anymore. It's a step in and it's like, you know what? I see something that you're just missing, and he doesn't blame them as far as a bad coach. He just thinks it's a mental block you have right this moment. No, we need to go here, and it's an honest mistake.
Maybe it's a little bit of parenting. It's like as a parent, you can go in and tell your kid, hey, do this, this, and this. Or you just kind of like, hey, you do your thing. And then every now and then I might chime in and say, well, you might want to think about this differently. But I'm not going to my kids and going, okay, loser.
And I would never think about it differently. Not once.
It's like, okay, you idiot. Why'd you do that? It's like parents don't approach it like that. So maybe maybe has a little bit of parenting in it, of tough hand when he needs to be tough, but I'm going to let you do your thing, and then I'll just give my input when I feel it's necessary. But anyway.
Yeah, apparently, and I know you said something else in the Discord there, Roger. Apparently, Jamin Davis is playing better according to this Greg Cassell guy. I don't know who Greg Cassell is. I
know Colin Cowherd, but no, I do not know Greg Cassell.
I mean, to be fair, I have not broken down the defense this week to a T where I'm going ahead and giving a grade performance for Jamin Davis. All I know is what I see in the plays that are there, and he missed a few tackles, and it's frustrating. And I've seen it. Like the Derek Carr ran for a first down. Jamin Davis, I've never seen a linebacker look slower, and I've watched John Bostic. I mean, it's so bad. I'll have to show you the play after the show. I mean, it's like I'm running out there. Seriously, it's crazy. He studies the film. Yeah, I'm sure he did. And I'm not somebody that is, if I didn't study it myself, I'm not going to absolutely rip somebody for having an opinion. From what I've seen, I don't agree. But he's obviously seen more than me, and I'll just, for now, leave it there. I'm not saying I agree because I don't see it, but I also saying what I did see, and I didn't see very good performance. And I see a guy that doesn't have a very good PFF either. I mean, let's see, Jamin, not that PFF is a all-knowing lord, but right now he's a 38.5 PFF on a scale of 1 to 100. So better's a relative term. That's another thing too.
All right, hey.
Better's only compared. Go ahead.
I'm running up against the clock. Let's go through the predictions real quick and wrap this thing up.
Let's do it. Let me write it down here. JW. All right. Let's run through
last
the picks.
Week. By the way, what you? I had 9 last week in my pick'em, but I know at the last.
I had 11.
Okay, I had 10. I have a tendency to change things on Sunday morning, so. But anyway, so
you may have been better. Who knows?
Hey, Minnesota's at home, giving Pittsburgh 3. I originally had Minnesota picked, but I can't go against Pittsburgh because I think they're going to win. So, and Minnesota's got Kirkins. Yep.
So I like your explanation. Everything. Finish it off with your pick again.
Okay. Pittsburgh +3.
Okay.
All right. Cleveland's at home against Baltimore. I'm going Baltimore -2.5. Or 2.5, depending on where you are.
2.5. I got you. Do they say something different? Yeah. Anyway, sorry. That's a whole other question.
So Tennessee's at home against Jacksonville. I'm picking Tennessee -9.
Ooh, you don't like to give -9s.
Well, no, I really don't have a problem until we get to double digits. But okay. Then we have KC's at home against Las Vegas. I think Kansas City has figured it out. I'm going KC -9.5.
Ooh, 9 against the Raiders. It's 9.5.
Yeah, but KC's at home, and I think I think Patrick Mahomes has figured out what he was missing, where it's like figure out the dump off and doing stuff really quick, and he's got a lot of speed around him. So I feel good about that. Nollins is in New York playing the Jets. I'm picking Narlands -5.
Man, you're going with the favorites this week, pretty much. Other
You
than
know,
Pittsburgh. Okay.
well, then of course Dallas at Washington. Washington +4. You're not. I know you're not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So Carolina at home against Atlanta. I think Atlanta sucks. So I'm going with Carolina -2.5.
You know what's funny? I picked Atlanta straight up.
Okay, well, we'll see.
I picked Atlanta straight up. Upset alert.
Okay, well, all right.
I think
we'll
Carolina is pretty trash too.
All right, so this one, Seattle at Houston. Seattle's given 7.5. I just don't see it. I'm going with Houston at home +7.5.
There's a underdog.
Yeah, I can't. And then Denver's at home.
Mm-hmm.
Giving Detroit 7.5. I'd like to think that Detroit found some sense of life last week, but I think they were handed a gift, so I have to go with Denver -7.5.
Okay.
The Chargers are at home against the Giants. I know. I don't think the Giants are that good, but I have a problem with 10.5. I just do. So I'm going to go with the Giants. They'll probably lose by 9 or 10, but too many things can happen for 10.5, and the Chargers are not that high scoring in my book. Anyway, so Cincinnati is at home against the 49ers, and they're giving the 49ers 1. I'm going with Cincinnati -1.
I did too. I went Cincinnati.
So I just think San Fran is another one of those teams. It's kind of like hit or miss. So I like Cincinnati, notwithstanding the fact they knocked me out of the suicide pool. Bitter party of one.
Party of one. Yeah, when they lost to the Jets, that was a rough week.
Yeah. And Tampa Bay is at home against Buffalo, so I'm going Tampa Bay -3. Yes, it's another favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay is at home giving Chicago 12.5. I think that stinks. I'm going with Chicago.
+12.5 Chicago.
Yeah, I can't give 12.5.
Who's at home again?
Green Bay.
Yeah, it might be a bad weather game. Who knows?
Yeah, I know, but they both live in bad. No, you know all about Chicago and Rockford and walking across the commons in your sandals. By the way,
snowstorm.
Yeah, he'd be in 5 inches of snow, and I'm like, Tim, what shoes you got on? He's like, well, I got my sandals on and my socks. I'm like, I disavow any knowledge of why.
Mentally challenged American. I got you.
So this one I went back and forth with, but I think I got to go with the home team. Arizona is at home, giving the Rams 2.5. I'm going Arizona -2.5.
I think Arizona is the best team in the league, so I like it.
So that wraps it up.
So sure.
We'll see what happens. I'm back. Like I said, I'm back in the hunt. I'm 5 points out of first place, and I'm 2 points out of the money.
Ooh,
so
good luck.
Another good week, and I'll be good. But I appreciate everybody that hangs out with us every week. Thanks for putting up with us. I know that it's because of me that there's some humor in here, but no, I'm not
humor.
trying to.
Some, not most, but some. No, that's funny.
Not this much.
No, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, thanks for everybody in the chat, of course. Skin Them Alive, I got it right that time. Expert JK, Asan Moore, M. Jones, Macman is in the house. Outlaw King, Roger Smith, Marcus Edelin. I watched the film. He is improving. Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, as I said, Jamin Davis, better is a relative term. So, you're only better than what you previously put out there. And if you're that bad.
Down, if you're down here and then you're up here, that's better. But it's still not. But anyway.
It's still AKA down here for sure. All right, well, it was fun. And we're going to be going live here in a bit, probably, I think the game starts at 8:20. So I'll be going live at least to do the play-by-play for tonight's game, Pittsburgh versus Minnesota. And, I'll be back. And, of course, we'll be back next week, Thursday, same time, 6:30.
Yep. And go WTF or WFT. Sorry.
He said, okay, Tim and Papa John. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep, no
See
worries.
you next
All right,
week.
guys, until next time, see ya!